Hi everyone, and welcome to the Free Range Diva. There are many health gurus here on YouTube who will advise you that eating dairy is unhealthy. It's an unhealthy food. They will use the fact that humans are the only mammal that continues to drink milk after infancy. Every other mammal stops drinking milk once they are weaned. But humans have consumed dairy for thousands of years, and so there has to be a reason. And that's kind of what I want to look at in this video, is to really give you both sides of the story, whether dairy is healthy or not. Now, of course, if you have allergies or are intolerant, then of course dairy is not going to be healthy for you, especially if you're lactose intolerant. It's definitely not going to be healthy for you. And of course, if you've made the decision for other reasons not to, consume dairy, then again, dairy is not going to be right for you. However, if you're someone who just has decided to shun dairy because, you've heard that it's unhealthy, then maybe there's something in this video that you might find helpful. So, so let's find out. Is dairy healthy or isn't it? So recently our Wi-Fi went out for 2 days. The technicians were stretched so thin with the fires, which have been devastating, that it took them that long to actually get here and fix it. In the meantime, without TV or phones or internet, I decided to do my research for this video old school. And I grabbed this book. This is called Bottom Line's Encyclopedia of Healing Foods. And I had opened it up and had automatically just turned to a page regarding pastured dairy versus conventional dairy, and a video was born. But let's give a shout out for books, okay? So most of the info that I'm going to be talking about today has come from that book. So the history of dairy dates back 5,000 years to a painting that was unearthed in a temple near Babylon, and it depicted people actually drinking cow's milk. But consuming dairy goes back much further than that. It's in the Bible. It's biblical. About 400 years AD, sheep and cow's milk became a staple in Europe, and in 1611, cows were brought to America by the Jamestown settlers, and from there, the rest is history. And for sure, I could do like a whole video on its own about cheese making and yogurt making, and the history of that. But we're going to stick to milk. We're going to talk about milk as a base of the other things that you can make from it. A little bit about nutrition. An 8-ounce serving of milk contains 8 grams of protein. Milk contains saturated, monounsaturated, and polyunsaturated fats, as well as 400 different fatty acids. It contains omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, and pastured milk, or milk from pastured cows, actually contains the ideal balance of omega-3 to 6, whereas the more grain that you introduce into the diet, the scale starts to tilt more towards the omega-6 end. Other nutrients: it contains B vitamins, beta-carotene, vitamins A, K, E, and D, calcium, and really good amounts of virtually every other mineral, including trace minerals. So milk unarguably, it's a nutritious food. If you're wondering why I'm looking over, I am reading notes because a lot of stuff. All right, today dairy is one of the top 7 allergenic foods. It causes everything from stomach upset to acne. Even more people are lactose intolerant. My mother is lactose intolerant, although she can and does eat yogurt. There is also evidence linking dairy consumption to some forms of cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and obesity. How can a food that has been used for thousands of years to nourish humans be so unhealthy? About 95% of America's cows are fed a diet of GMO alfalfa and or corn or soy. Grain-fed cows produce a higher quantity of milk, but it's a lower quality than pastured cows because grain is not the cow's natural diet. Grain-fed cows also tend to be sicker, so antibiotics have been introduced. Additionally, bovine growth hormone was introduced to the dairy industry because it causes the cows to produce more milk. You'll see this referred to as RBST or RBGH. And it's common to see RBGH free on milk cartons, meaning that the milk was not given bovine growth hormone. And Monsanto has spent a lot of money, as well as legal and political capital, to keep labeling off. They have gone so far as to sue dairy producers that wanted to label their products RBGH free so that they couldn't do it. Now you'll see language from the FDA on cartons that says something like there's no significant difference between cows treated with RBGH and cows that are not treated, muddying the waters, making it seem like cows that were not that have been given RBGH are the same as cows that were not. And this isn't accurate, to say the least. However, today, many, if not most, conventional dairies will mix RBGH milk with RBGH-free milk when they're processing. But there is a difference, not the least of which is a higher risk in the animal of infection, leading to more antibiotic use, and milk that is loaded with a natural growth factor called IGVF-1. Excess levels of this growth factor in the body increase our risk of hormone-driven cancers like breast cancers in women and men, colon cancer, and prostate cancer. In 1994, bovine growth hormone began to be widely used in the dairy industry. At the same time, a national ad campaign was launched to promote milk as a healthy food. Remember the Got Milk campaigns? Well, as a result, in 1995, milk consumption rose for the first time in 25 years. So we as a society, or in this country, have been drinking low-quality, hormone contaminated milk for at least a quarter of a century. Additionally, the FDA requires that any dairy that has had fat removed, so low fat, 1%, 2%, that it be fortified with vitamins A and D. So the vitamin packaging is one package that is sold to all dairy producers, manufactured in China. The vitamin A in this package is made from corn. The propylene glycol is added as an emulsifier. That's also a corn derivative. And because vitamin A and D are fat soluble, there has to be some sort of oil included as well so that you can combine it with the milk, which is water-based, and that oil is corn oil. Now, China does not allow GMOs, so as far as I know, all of these corn derivative products are GMO free, as far as I know, because things in the industry can change all the time. So the bottom line is that our conventional milk supply can be contaminated with pesticides, herbicides, antibiotic residue, dioxins, and hormones. So what should be a healthy food isn't healthy anymore. But there's a flip side to this coin. That is dairy that has been grass-fed, pastured, and fed its natural diet. Cows that are allowed to graze are just healthy. The milk that they produce contains the ratio of omega-3 fats in an ideal proportion. Once you start introducing grain, the ratio becomes much heavier to the omega-6 side. Milk from grass-fed cows has been shown to have 5 times the amount of CLA than their grain-fed counterparts. CLA, also known as conjugated linoleic acid, is one of those miracle fatty acids. It has the ability to prevent cancer, prevent the formation of cholesterol plaques in the arteries, boost the immune system, enhance the effects of insulin, and promote lean body mass. Milk from pastured and grass-fed cows also contain several other cancer-fighting fatty acids like butyric acid, myristic acid, and sphingomyelin. And these fatty acids can counteract the saturated fat molecules that are in the milk. This encyclopedia also talks about a study from Scotland. It was a 25-year study of 5,700 Scottish men, half of whom were milk drinkers and drank about 2/3 of a cup or more milk a day. The other half were men who either drank no milk or less than the 2/3 of a cup. So 25 years, and the result of this study was that the heart disease death rate among the milk drinkers was 8% lower than those who did not. Deaths from cancer and strokes were 10% lower among the milk drinkers. Now, sensitivities have arisen in the population due to something in milk called A1 casein. And I want to talk about this a minute because casein is a protein that's found in the milk, but this A1 variety is only found in newer breeds of cow. I guess when you're breeding for different things, it can often happen that you cause something genetically to happen that you weren't counting on. Now, older breeds of cows, like the Jersey breed, do not have this A1 casein. They have A2 casein, which is the same casein that's found in human breast milk and in goat's milk, and can often be safer for those with casein allergies and sensitivities to drink. So there is milk on the market and it's marked free from A1 casein. Raw milk has a digestive enzyme called lactase, and this helps to digest lactose because, as you know, lactose intolerance is big. So most of this lactase enzyme, however, is destroyed when the milk is pasteurized. And pasteurization is heated just enough, the milk is heated just enough to kill certain bacteria, bad bacteria, as well as some of the enzymes in it. However, there is milk on the market that is low heat pasteurized, and that preserves many of these natural enzymes. Raw milk, last I checked, was illegal in most states, so it's hard to get. Obviously, you cannot walk into a store and buy it. So I'm not going to talk much about raw milk, but if you do have access to raw milk, then you probably already know more than I do about the good things that it can do for you. Also, there's fermented dairy, which has all of that good bacteria that keeps your digestive tract healthy and performing its best. And dairy foods provide the optimal delivery system for these probiotic bacteria. There is a fermented foods video coming in my list, so stay tuned for that. I'm not going to go that much into fermented foods because it is fascinating, but we'll talk about it in another video soon. So to sum everything up, it's all about quality. So in order to get the highest quality of dairy, I'm just going to list in order from best to as the best that you can do, what you want to look for. You want to look for unadulterated and for the most part unfortified dairy in the form of either raw and pastured, pastured dairy, grass-fed organic dairy without synthetic vitamins, and finally organic dairy with synthetic vitamins. And I'll put more information about that below in the description bar. But yeah, so that's the deal. That's my deal with dairy. Now on this channel, we don't, there's no such thing as this diet is the best and that diet is the worst. No, we don't do that here. On this channel, the best diet is the best diet for you. A healing, nutritious diet that is easy to maintain and affordable. So I hope that this video has been helpful. If it is, I would appreciate a thumbs up. I also want to say thank you for watching and thank you for supporting this channel. It means so much to me that you are there, especially if you find this information interesting or helpful. Also, I love that you leave comments and tell me about you, because I love getting to know you. And so on that note, I'm going to sign off and just say until I see you in my next video, I want you all to have a wonderful day, a wonderful week. Take good care of yourselves, and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye, everybody.